It was leaked from the Ministry of Defence in London to WikiLeaks. It identifies what it calls the greatest threats to the national security of the West. At the top of the list are terrorists and Russian spies. Yes, Russian spies. But by far the biggest threat is said to come from one group: journalists, investigative journalists. How gratifying that is. In other words, journalists who do their job, who tell you, the public, how and why politicians lie to you and start wars in your name and threaten your security, must somehow be stopped, coerced, even smeared. This is another secret document, leaked, of course, by WikiLeaks. This one is from the Pentagon in Washington and explains a great deal about the predicament facing Julian Assange. It's dated almost exactly 3 years ago and describes the planning of a smear campaign to destroy WikiLeaks. And I quote, "Destroying WikiLeaks' centre of gravity, its public trust. And this would be achieved with," and I quote, "threats of exposure and criminal prosecution," unquote, 3 years ago. Silencing a rare source of independent journalism is the explicit aim. Smear is the method. Why? Because the real threat is not WikiLeaks or Julian Assange, but you, the public. The real threat is you finding out the truth about those who pretend to be democratic and to act in your interests and to promote a peaceful world. The real threat is your right to call your government to account. And by that I don't mean the usual circus of Tweedledee and Tweedledum, with the very honourable exception of Andrew Wilkie. Competing for your vote, but the telling of truths that allow us to examine the cynicism that defines Australia's place in the world, increasingly. When the truth is replaced by silence, said the Soviet dissident Yevtushenko, the silence is a lie.